You are not here by accident. There is something inside you, quiet, yet incredibly powerful. It calls you to search for answers. You may have already tried discipline, made plans, built habits, listened to hundreds of motivational speeches, yet you still feel stuck. Procrastination, fatigue, doubt sound familiar? Let me be clear. The problem is not your willpower. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not lacking ambition. The real reason goes deeper. Your mind has been programmed incorrectly, not by you, but by your past, your fears, the noise of society and habits you don't even notice. Your brain doesn't respond to reality. It reacts to old wounds. It avoids pain, seeks comfort, and escapes into ease. No one taught you how to train your mind, how to control your inner voice, how to stay calm in chaos, how to become unshaken in the storm. But everything can change, starting now. Weapon number 1, pain conditioning. Pain is not your enemy. It is your training ground. If you want a mind that cannot be broken, you must walk into pain not with fear, but with intention. Pain is like weight in the gym, resistance, and resistance builds strength. Avoid pain. Avoid growth. True resilience is not born in comfort. It is forged in fire. Your brain does not grow when things are easy. It grows under pressure, when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when you go where you don't want to go. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack tolerance for discomfort. They want reward without effort, results without process, transformation without struggle. And that's exactly where they break, not from failure, but from resisting pain. Comfort becomes their drug, avoidance becomes their prison. But you are not one of them. You are here to turn pain into power. When you consciously enter discomfort, you rewire your brain's reward system. You train yourself to enjoy not instant gratification, but the deeper reward that comes after. That feeling after overcoming fear, that is real pleasure. And unlike the quick dopamine hit from social media or sugar, this kind of reward stays. It builds self-respect. It reshapes your identity. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is not just philosophy. It is neuroscience. Your brain responds to repetition. If you keep choosing comfort, it becomes weak. But if you connect effort with reward, you stop fearing pain. You begin to feed on it. That is mental strength. That is how people become unbreakable. The difference between ordinary and exceptional people is not luck or motivation. It is how they relate to pain. Average people run from it. Strong minds walk toward it. Every second of struggle sharpens their inner blade. Every small discomfort builds mental armor. Wake up early. Do what you said you would do. Step into cold water. Finish what you started. Each time, you are rewriting who you are. Weapon number 2, identity shift. You don't act based on what you want. You act based on who you believe you are. That's the truth. You tried motivation. You made plans. But every step forward, your brain pulls you back. Why? Because your actions follow your identity, not your goals. If deep inside you believe you are lazy, weak, or inconsistent, your brain will sabotage anything that contradicts it. This is not failure. This is programming. But it can be rewritten. You are not who they said you are. You are who you choose to become. Define yourself again. I finish what I start. I show up even when I don't feel like it. I am disciplined. I don't break. Repeat it daily. Weapon number 3, repetition. Your brain does not care what you want. It only responds to what you repeat. Motivation is noise. Repetition is code. You don't become what you do sometimes. You become what you do every day. If you don't build rituals, you will live by default ones. Scrolling, doubting, avoiding, delaying, replace them. Speak your identity. Take action, repeat. Especially on the days you don't feel like it. That's where transformation happens. Weapon number 4, mental war. The real battle is inside your head. Your brain is designed for survival, not greatness. It wants safety, not growth. That's why it tells you to wait, to quit, to stay comfortable. Mental war means choosing duty over emotion, mission over mood. Stand up when you want to quit. Move when you feel fear. You don't wait to be ready. You act, and readiness follows. Weapon number 5, inner dialogue. The most dangerous voice is the one in your head. I'm not good enough. I always fail. I can't change. These are not facts. They are repeated thoughts. And repetition creates belief. Your words shape your brain. Change the voice. Change your life. Weapon number 6, delayed victory. Most people quit because results don't come fast enough. But real strength is built in silence. Work when no one sees. Show up when no one cares. Your results are delayed, not denied. Weapon number 7, focus. You don't fail because you lack goals. You fail because you lack focus. One goal, one direction, no distractions. Depth beats speed. Weapon number 8, dopamine control. You are not lazy, you are overstimulated. Endless scrolling destroys your focus. Cheap pleasure kills real drive. Protect your attention. Weapon number 9, taking control. Every moment you choose, you are training your brain, either to quit or to execute. Take control. Act despite how you feel. Weapon number 10, the unbreakable path. There will be silence, no results, no progress. This is where most people break. But you don't stop. You move forward, even when it feels meaningless. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be unbreakable. You are not the result. You are the process. You are not the victory. You are the path. And the path continues, in silence, in darkness, in solitude. You don't wait anymore. You act. From this day, you are not a spectator. You are in control. You are the creator. You are the commander of your mind. And no one can stop you. And now, we go deeper, because discipline alone is not enough. Pain alone is not enough. Repetition alone is not enough. There is a level beyond all of this, the level of inner command. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private notes, not for fame, not for applause, but for survival. You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Think about that. Not partial power, total control. And yet most people never use it. They try to control the world, but cannot control a single thought. They try to change others, but cannot master themselves. This is where your transformation truly begins. Weapon number 11, control of perception. Nothing in your life is good or bad by itself. It becomes something only after your mind labels it. Pain is not suffering, until you define it as suffering. Failure is not defeat, until you accept it as defeat. Everything begins with perception. A cold morning is either torture or training. Rejection is either humiliation or redirection. A hard life is either a curse or a forge. The event itself is neutral. Your interpretation creates your reality. This is not motivation. This is discipline of thought. When something happens, pause and ask yourself, what is this really? Not emotionally, objectively. Strip away the story, strip away the reaction. See it for what it is. A moment, a challenge, an opportunity to respond. Not react, respond. Because reaction is automatic, response is power. And the moment you choose your response, you stop being controlled. Weapon number 12, emotional detachment. You are not your emotions. You feel them. You experience them. But you are not them. Anger comes. Fear comes. Doubt comes. They are visitors, not rulers. Weak minds obey emotions. Strong minds observe them. When anger rises, observe it. When fear appears, notice it. When doubt whispers, hear it, but don't follow it. Create space between you and the feeling. That space is where your power lives. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, if you are distressed, it is not the thing itself, but your judgment about it. So change the judgment, and you change everything. Weapon number 13, acceptance of reality. Most suffering comes from resistance. You want things to be different. You wish the past never happened. You fight what already exists. But reality does not negotiate. It does not care about your preferences. It does not adjust to your emotions. It simply is. And the faster you accept it, the faster you gain control. Acceptance is not weakness. It is clarity. It means this is what is. Now what will I do? No complaints, no denial, no escape, only action. This is how Stoics moved through chaos, with calm, precision, and control. Weapon number 14, voluntary hardship. Do not wait for life to test you. Test yourself. Choose difficulty intentionally. Take the cold shower. Reject comfort. Push further than required. Why? Because when a hardship is chosen, it loses its power over you. If you train in discomfort, you stop fearing it. If you practice struggle, you become prepared. A man who lives in comfort becomes fragile. A man who trains in hardship becomes dangerous. Not to others, but to his own limitations. Weapon number 15, indifference to opinion. You feel watched, judged, evaluated. But here is the truth. People are too busy thinking about themselves. And even if they judge you, so what? Their opinion does not build your life. Their approval does not define your path. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Read that again. You value external noise more than your own judgment. That ends now. Do what must be done, not what looks good. Move with purpose, not for approval. Because the moment you stop needing validation, you become free. Weapon number 16, awareness of mortality. You will die, not someday in theory, but in reality. Your time is limited, and most people live as if they have endless chances. They delay, they postpone, they wait, but time does not wait. Every day you waste is gone forever. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. This is not darkness, this is clarity. Because when you understand that time is finite, you stop wasting it. You stop arguing over nothing. You stop chasing distractions. You stop living small. You begin to act. Now. Weapon number 17, simplicity. Your life feels complicated, not because it must be, but because you make it so. Too many thoughts, too many goals, too many distractions. Simplify. One goal, one direction, one mission. Remove everything else. Clarity creates power. When your path is simple, your actions become precise, and precise action creates results. Weapon number 18, consistency over intensity. You don't need extreme effort once. You need steady effort daily. Intensity burns out. Consistency builds. Small actions, repeated daily. That is how identity is formed. That is how results are built. Not in one moment of motivation, but in thousands of quiet decisions. Weapon number 19, self-command. At the highest level, there is no motivation. There is no emotion. There is only command. You give the order and you execute. No negotiation, no delay, no excuses. This is where discipline becomes identity. This is where you stop trying and start being. Weapon number 20, inner peace through control. Not control of the world, not control of other people. Control of yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, your actions. That is enough. Because when you control yourself, nothing outside can break you. Chaos may surround you, but it will not enter you. Pressure may rise, but it will not crush you. Because your strength is internal. And that strength is unshakable. Understand this. You are not becoming stronger. You are remembering who you are. A being capable of discipline, of clarity, of control. You were never weak. You were untrained. But now you see. Now you understand. Now you act. And from this moment forward, you don't go back. Because once a person learns to control their mind, they cannot return to unconscious living. They see too clearly. They think too sharply. They act too precisely. So continue. In silence, in discipline, in control. And one day you won't recognize the person you used to be. Not because you changed your life, but because you mastered yourself. If you're building a stoic mind, not a weak one, subscribe to this channel and like this video so this message reaches those who are ready to change.